Session 16. Session 16. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We begin with the name of Allah, who is most gracious and merciful. Nahmaduhu nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. And we begin with blessings on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Today we shall continue with the subject of the previous session, that is, does man have the right to do whatever he likes with his own body? Does man have the right to do whatever he likes with his own body? Prophet Muhammad established an Islamic society. My apologies. I begin again. To a majority, the West appears to have been overtaken or submerged, drowned in nihilism, rejection of moral and religious principles, hedonism, that is, belief in the importance of pleasure over all else, narcissism, excessive admiration of its morality, and fanaticism in cultural imperialism, that is, enforcing their culture on other societies. There is everything in the West now but spiritualism. The spiritual vacuum may not last another few decades. While the West may return to spiritualism, it would have ruined other societies. Will the Muslims also have to travel the ever-changing flirtatious route of secularism, agnosticism of the West to return eventually to their original track of spiritualism? The Muslims are therefore of the view that the West should try to reconsider if evangelism, that is, persuasion to adopt its culture, would benefit the mankind, because the secular values are of recent origin and fleeting. Fleeting, since these aren't welded, anchored to any spiritual system of values and religion. Only the morality, values of the religions, whatever the religions may be, are lasting, permanent, and permanent. It may be impossible to have another new religion now, and mankind may have to revert to pick up any of the earlier religions. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as a guide for humanity in all the fields and aspects of life. His speech was never malapropos, unsuitable. He had no streak of malarkey, that is, absurd behavior, retained no malice for anyone, never found malevolent, wishing to do evil to others, never maligned anyone, not even his own enemies, and even the most malodorous, that is, offensive conduct of his enemies never enraged him. Muhammad, peace be upon him, came to eradicate and teach the mankind to eradicate zulm, evil, injustice, and every kind of it, and every kind, and if it be necessary to fight the evil minded, the evil-minded, the evil-tempered. He evoked solidarity with the people of the book on the basis of monotheism and condemned pantheism, that is, having co-equals of Allah, and condemned paganism, hedonism, that is, that lifestyle of pleasures, of seeking pleasures, etc., and the modern day secular outlook. Muhammad, peace be upon him, addressed himself to the entire mankind. His creed was neither parochial nor restricted to any particular era, time, or region. He came as a messenger, a guide, a model for the entire humanity till the doomsday. As such, his teachings, demonstrated through his conduct as well, can neither be substituted, nor modified, nor mangled. He taught empathy, modesty, kindness, mercy, pity, human brotherhood, tolerance, patience, perseverance, humility, forgiveness, love, devotion, sincerity, faithfulness, and wisdom to the mankind. He taught that the fulfillment of the purpose of life is more important than life itself. That journey matters as does the objective. Returning to the concept of liberty again, for it is gridlocked with the rights of women and all other social differences between the West and Islam. Leaving all other tardy concepts of liberty, Muhammad, peace be upon him, recited the Qur'an, which encapsulates the divine philosophy of liberty in a single line. And I haven't created jinns and human beings, but for the purpose to worship, obey my orders only, be subservient to me. Surah Az-Zariyah, verse 56. Thus, the liberty of man has been defined. He is at liberty to do anything as long as he doesn't disobey Allah and follows the Prophet, peace be upon him. Actually, mankind wasn't left in the wilderness, darkness, to grope, search for ideologies, values, systems, concepts of morality, etc., through logic and reasoning. So the Prophet made the task fairly easy, defined all values, including those of liberty, equality, justice, human rights, rights of the women, individual rights vis-a-vis the state, etc., leaving nothing to individual desires, likes and dislikes, to forestall polemics, that is disputes, etc., and ideological and cultural confrontations and clashes. Man has been given the liberty and physical capability to do as he pleases, or to obey Allah and follow the Prophet, peace be upon him. He has the choice to accept obedience, subservience to Allah voluntarily, and conduct himself strictly according to the way of the Prophet, or to remain a non-believer. Once he elects, chooses to be a follower of the Prophet, peace be upon him, a Muslim, then his choices, preferences, likes, dislikes, do's and don'ts have to be in strict and sincere obedience to that of Muhammad, peace be upon him. So it might be rather disappointing, discouraging, and disenchanting for non-believers, secular, that the liberty he languishes for, that is hedonism, that is living a lifestyle of pleasures, etc., love and worship of power, money, popularity, beauty, and sex, have little room when Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The world is an asylum for a faithful believer." The world is an asylum for a faithful believer. That is, he has to give up his evil desires, evil pleasures, and misplaced priorities. Mishkat. There is a definite, discernible difference in the concept of liberty given by the Prophet, peace be upon him. First, it should remain within the bounds of Qur'an and Sunnah. Second, liberty must not curtail any other man's liberty. Third, must not be a cause, a source, an instrument to harm anyone. Fourth, should not be a zulm, that is to dislodge, remove something from its original due state or position. 5. It should not hurt others. And 6. It must not create injustice. It must be compared to the secular concept of liberty, like "keep your laws off my body," a placard carried by girls in USA, or the well-known saying of Bertrand Russell, "You can do anything as long as it doesn't take you to the police station." Bertrand Russell said, "You can do anything as long as it doesn't take you to the police station." Or the saying that the British Parliament, about the British Parliament, "It can do anything. It can declare a woman a man. It can make the accused his own judge." None can change the concept of liberty given by Muhammad, peace be upon him, till the doomsday. The secular may feel indisposed to follow such a concept, which denies them many and evil desires and pleasures, even the right, liberty to sleep with another person's spouse. But this is how it is. And they may also be denied the liberty of trapping unbeknown teenagers, or beating up, smacking, kicking the children as a routine. That's all for today, gentlemen. Jazakallah.